Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to G-Wop, which stands for Just Everything with Auntie Pookie Podcast. I'm your host, Sydney, or as many know me as Auntie Pookie. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning in to this podcast. It's amazing. I interview people, I give advice, I do meditation, and it's also a healing thing for me as well to just speak to people through my life experiences because they may not know the tools to help themselves, or they may never heard the tools of what I have expressed here on the podcast. So thank you again for tuning in. Today is another special podcast recording. I'm not in my normal recording location. I'm at another park enjoying this beautiful sunshine. So if you happen to hear birds, cars, trees talking, whatever you hear, it is the background of nature. And I do have a little meditation music going. I don't own the rights to any meditation music that's playing. I say that now. Shout out to all the people who do meditation music. And I potentially might make my own, so stay tuned for that. Now, today's episode, I feel like needs to be addressed for a lot of people because I was one of these people years ago. And it is about people pleasing. Whew, I know. You're like, this girl's really trying it, ain't she? Yeah, I am. A little background, if you don't know what people pleasing is, it's basically doing and living and breathing for other people except yourself. And you try to make everybody else happy. You try to prove yourself to people so that if they talk about you and they know you, like if they're your parent or something, and they want to just be so proud, and that fuels your fire because you please them so much. But sometimes when you people please, you're not really happy. And again, I use examples of people pleasing as my own life experiences and conversations I've had with people. And it's crazy and traumatizing. So in my experience of people pleasing, I was never the person to say no. I was always, yes, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. In all kinds of relationships, family ships, boyfriend ships, homegirl ships, whatever, or friendships, teacher ships, whatever ships you want to ship, okay? And it really slapped me in the face when I was in a relationship. And I'm not going to say any names because I'm just a person to respect people, even though sometimes people don't deserve it. But it slapped me in the face when I was with someone and they told me if I really loved them, I would do something that I was very uncomfortable with for them. It might have been Jesus that slapped me. My subconscious, who knows? But yeah, so a reality hit me like, dang. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean you have to do things that you really are uncomfortable doing. It was crazy to think too, like, dang, like, when you're young sometimes and you don't know better at times, you're just like, dang, will this person think I don't love them if I don't do this thing that's demeaning to me? It was so sad, like, and from then on, I still people pleased, but I realized I needed help to say no. I ended up going to therapy in about my late 20s because I was just sick of it. I was sick of being a doormat. And once I realized, like, I can't say no and it's cool, but that doesn't mean that the person is going to hate me or love me. They may just be pissed off at me, and that's fine. Side note, when you go to therapy, make sure you find a therapist, or if you go to therapy, make sure you find a therapist that genuinely is going to listen to you, who's going to help you, who's going to give you exercises to work on, who's going to really, really dive deep into the things that you've dealt with through your life and why you're the person you are today. Because being with my first therapist, I struggled because she most of the time was half asleep when I was doing my therapy. And because I people please so much, I kept going to her even though I knew it wasn't right or it wasn't helping. And then this is crazy. So after a while, I didn't book a session with her because I was like, maybe I can find another therapist and she might be able to help. Now, don't get me wrong. She helped with some things. And yeah, I'm going to just say some. That's like the most respectable way or thing I can say about what she did do. So I didn't book for a while. And I was just like, okay, she's probably going to be mad, blah, 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 whatever. So I didn't book probably for like a month because I think I was seeing her like 2 times a month, sometimes 3. And I didn't book for like a month. I'm going to say a month and a half. I believe it was a month and a half. So I get this email from her like, hey, just checking in. Are you going to book a session soon? And so I didn't reply probably for like a week because I was like, should I message back? I don't know. So I was thinking about it and I was pondering for a week and I was like, I don't know. So when I was ready to reply, I get this next email and it was like, due to you failing to respond to my emails and book a session with me, you are officially banned from my list. I was like, dang. I didn't know what to say because I'm like, well, shouldn't it be like the client wanting to book or I'm not going to say I'm a patient because I was a client to her. And I'm like, she was getting money from me. I was paying her every time I seen her out of pocket. Like, I think at the time I didn't even have like insurance. And so I was just paying her out of pocket. And I'm like, you're mad because I haven't booked with you and you're not getting money. So, months go by and I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. I get another email asking about like a survey. Pretty much I still didn't respond. I felt bad for a long time because I had that people pleasing mentality. Like, dang, what does she think of me? Like, should I go back to her? Should I apologize? Should I send a letter? Should I do all these things? And I realized like, nah, man, she wasn't helping me. And not saying she couldn't help someone else, but she just wasn't for me. So with that, just a little backstory. I mean, I have plenty of things to throw out there that are pretty recent as well. Just letting someone do things behind my back, right? And now that I have had years of therapy with a different lady who's freaking phenomenal, but she's not taking any more clients, I don't think. Learning to say no and putting your boundaries in place, let me tell you something how powerful that is. Regardless of who you're putting boundary towards, your parents, your siblings, your boyfriend, girlfriend, little cousins, aunties, grandma, don't matter. You need to set a boundary because if you continue to people please, it is going to ruin your freaking life. I'm going to give this example and it's crazy and people know who this person is, so it is what it is. I was dating somebody twice. Things were pretty cray-cray. Like, a lot of times were good, so I can't even knock that. But the times that were bad was bad. And once round 2 happened, my boundaries were set and I was completely different from the round 1 Sydney that I was. Things went well for a little while. Relationships are rocky, so you never know. And then eventually something really bad happened where the person was doing some shady shit behind my back. Excuse my language, I ain't trying to cuss on here, my bad. But the old people-pleasing Sydney and me was willing to forgive that person and let that person still be in my life. But the new me, the thing my therapist says is like the 16-year-old me is still scared to move forward and the adult me is still trying to push that 16-year-old because I needed a push when I was growing up. And that's another podcast for another day. But when the adult me was like, nah, we're not doing this. You are valued. You are this. You are that. I had to walk away. And it hurt. It hurt to the freaking core because I had to move on even though I didn't want to because I really loved that person. And I can't tell you how many times I've cried and cried and cried and cried. And healing is a process, let me tell you that. And it's really good when you do have people who really love you and care about you, who are in your circle, who can be there for you while you're healing and pump you up and make you feel like the hottest thing on the market on the days when you feel really low and ugly. And I'm not just talking about looks. I'm talking about your mental, your personality, your just the way your vibe is, all of that. And I realized that even though the things we want in life, we want, right? We want them to go perfect, but sometimes they don't. And if we dive into letting certain things continuously happen, we are freaking people pleasing because we're letting that person do whatever the heck they want to us. Even when it comes to your, like I said, your spouse, parents, friends, whatever. One thing I have learned since I have turned down the volume of my people pleasing is I'm happier because I can say no. I can say I don't feel like it. And if people get mad, let them get mad. But you got to live for you. You have to freaking live for yourself. Now, I'm not saying you're selfish or anything because you want to do things and pursue your goals and dreams. And you may be married. You may have a boyfriend. You may have kids and all that stuff. Yes, you're in this world to pursue and fulfill your purpose that God has given you, right? And then it's like you have people who are here in your lives, maybe your spouse, your friends, your sister, your brother, your dad, whatever, and your kids, and you're here to be a leader and guide them as well. But one thing you don't need to do is always give in to things even when you don't want to. Your kid might kick and scream and call you names, but there's some things we have to say as parents so that, and they still cracks me, I'm a half parent, oh my gosh. Anyways, we have to do things as parents for the goodness for our children, right? Or the goodness for our spouse, the goodness for our friends. We need to also teach our friends, spouse, whatever, that it's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away. And if people gonna be mad at you, they gonna get over it. But if they stay mad and they're just using it against you forever, then it's not worth it. It's just not worth the relationship. It's not worth being with them. And what kills me is the stuff that I've dealt with people pleasing is when I tell people no, or I'm like, or I defend myself, or I stand up for myself, they look at me like I done spit in they Cheerios. They're like, oh, excuse me, what did you say? Like, you need some Q-tips? You heard me. Shoot. You literally have to stand tall and do for you. And I'm going to just say this because a lot of people I know have experienced this. When your child is older and they're trying to live their life, don't make them feel bad because they say no to you as they parent. Like, quit with the guilt tripping. Quit with the, well, y'all don't come see me no more because y'all just doing y'all own thing. Literally, you're there to raise your kids and to do things. And of course you want to see them and hang out with them, but it works both ways, right? If you want to hang out with your child or make plans or something, call them too. Stop making excuses because you the parent that they supposed to call you all the time. That's dumb. If whoever got a problem with that, you have a problem. Shoot. Okay. But literally, start working on saying no. Let me tell you something. It's okay to say no. I teach that to the kids I work with in the summertime. Like, because they're young, they think they cool and like, oh, miss, I'm about to buy me some shoes. I'm about to do this. Miss, I'm about to da-da-da. And I'm like, have you read a book this year? Like, like, I don't be dogging the kids. I love clowning them. But I always try to iterate to them like knowledge is power, and also standing tall is powerful, and saying no is powerful, and being a different person is powerful. Changing that generational curse is powerful. And also changing the way society has put things on people. Like, if you raise your kids and not cry, like, that's going to ruin them when they get older. I'm going to just tell y'all that right now. Okay? And there is going to be another podcast for another day of things that we got to stop doing to each other. But whatever. So, literally start today. Even at your job. Okay, let me break it down to you real quick about the jobs up in here. Okay. You are so replaceable, you don't even know. You could be the best at your job, the only one in that position. But if you tell them no, that you ain't doing that because it's not part of your job description and you feel like you've been pushed to do things that you shouldn't be doing, blah, 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 whatever you feel is uncomfortable, they might try to replace you, right? But what they're going to regret is that they lost the person that knows their system very well, or who always comes to work, or who works overtime, who is really a goal getter, a goal setter, and an achiever in that company. They're going to be mad at themselves for a while. Then they're going to find somebody new who's going to be that people pleaser that will do everything in their power to, yes, master, what do you need me to do? You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself, protect your energy, protect your time. Time is not promised at all. Literally. There are people who go out with their friends drinking, just hanging out, and there's a random drive-by shooting. There are people who are freaking texting and driving, and then they kill a whole family because they couldn't put their phone down because of dang Facebook or TikTok or freaking OnlyFans. Time waits for no one. So, use your time wisely. Appreciate your time. And if you don't want to do something, don't do it. And I'm going to throw this out there. Even if it's your grandma. Grandma, sorry, I can't help you today. Well, why can't... Let me tell you something, Grandma. I love you, but I'm busy today and I can't help you today. Maybe another time. Blah, blah, blah. You know? Do not make yourself suffer for other people. Because let me tell you something. What one thing people pleasers don't understand is when you people please, a lot of times people ain't pleasing you. They don't care what you need. They ain't there for you when you crying. Sometimes you got people who are for real there for you, but there are some people that are really just not there for you. They will use you up and use all the water in your body. And you're going to be crusty, skin crackling. You're going to look like a dang, what's them lizards? Alligator, not an alligator, a damn crusty lizard. That's all I can think of. A crusty, musty lizard. And then they still call you and use the rest of your crust in your body. Then after that, you just dry. You ain't got nothing left. You need some Carmex and Vaseline. Like, you got to fill your cup. Hydrate yourself. If you got something to do for your day, right? Do what you need to do for your day. Don't stop doing what you're doing for other people. Now, if it's an emergency, that's different. You know, like if they're like, I really need you, blah, 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 whatever. You don't always have to do stuff for people. And if you can't do it, just say, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do your best to say no. That's something to work on this year. And forever. Not doing things that you don't want to do. And feeling okay that you didn't do it. Feel okay that you stood tall. Feel okay that you said no. Feel okay that you left. Feel okay that you hung up that phone call because it's just toxic. Feel okay that you didn't answer that phone call because you know the person on the other end is just negative Nancy and you don't want to hear that today. Stand tall when you're having a mental breakdown. Call into work. I'm not encouraging you to call into work all the time. But let me tell you something. If you need time for you, take that time. These jobs don't care about us. And a lot of people who you people please for, they don't care about you either. So start caring for you. Stand tall. And remember, it's okay to say no.